Okay, so today what we're gonna try to figure out in the next hour is whether we can deploy this app and have it useful by other people out there on the internet. We tried to do some of that last night and it didn't quite work out, so we're gonna figure that out today. First thing I'm gonna have to figure out is here in Hey Fuzzy Buddy, how are you doing today? I really like your YouTube nickname. It's just funny. So first thing we have to figure out is in our handler.js. No, not in our handler.js. Here in the tweet button where we are, or is it in login? So in the tweet button where we are going to, where is it? Wow, I'm kind of spacing out right now. Oh, in the login, when we auth, so that's this stuff. We have a public endpoint, private endpoint, and auth0 stuff. Here are, what's it called? Our callback needs to be based on the domain from which we're actually calling stuff. So that's gonna be the next thing to figure out. Because if this doesn't work, that means we can't, go into, what does it mean? Yeah, basically we need to configure the callback so that we're able to do this even when something is deployed. So can we get that dynamically? Let's see. We want it to work both on localhost and once it's deployed. So if we say in window.domain, window.location.domain, no, .host, host name. So window location.host is what we're interested in. We're gonna put that here, but only if, like this. So we're gonna do our domain is going to be a constant all the way above. Let's see. So callback domain here, and we're gonna say const callback. Come on. Any Kotlin live codes? I guess we'll see. It depends on whether, still not sure if I'm actually going to be learning Kotlin or not. It's probably going to be for work if I am, but maybe I'll see if I can figure out doing some Kotlin live codes if I end up learning Kotlin. I guess we'll see how I like it. So callback domain is we said, so if type of window is not undefined, then our domain is window.location.host. Otherwise it's going to be localhost 8000. Cool. So we now have a dynamic domain, and we can prove that that works by running yarn build. And we're gonna do yarn build and deploy first and figure out why our Gatsby now.js build isn't working later. Right, so that fucks it up. So we have to build it first, then deploy, and we'll see that it's not actually going to work for reasons. What I'm gonna do now, just deploying. Ah shit, I got chocolate all over my pants. Cool, got that. Now you'll see when I click login, it's probably gonna say, yeah, the URL doesn't match. And I wonder if we put that back here. So if we go into auth0.com and set that URL as one of the potential whitelisted callbacks, then the login should work. So we have applications, thread compiler, down here we put that thing, save changes. Oh, and it's actually HTTPS, so let me fix that as well. Can we do window.location.protocol? Ah, cool. So we can do that. We can actually say a callback is let's do protocol, and we're gonna make that dynamic as well, because it can be either HTTP on localhost or HTTPS when we're on not localhost. So const protocol is type of window, and that's not undefined, then it's window.location.protocol, otherwise it's HTTP blah, right, like that. And I'm going to yarn build again and then deploy. We're gonna try again, and I think this time it's gonna actually work, and we're gonna see if the URL stays the same, so that if it does, we're not gonna have to keep reconfiguring it on auth0. So we go there, cd public now, that deploys it on the Zeit servers. No, it changes every time. So I'm gonna have to copy that, put it here, like that. And then the next step is going to be fixing that so we don't have to keep doing it. So we click login, and we are logged in. Awesome. So if I go here, you can say you can try tweeting from Gatsby 2. Go here. Still pretty rough. Let's add the monkey emoji for that one. UI is still pretty rough. Oh, interesting. Tweet your thread, and bam, tweeted. And now I can go check it out. Okay, let's see my profile. Did I tweet that out? Yes, I did. Sweet. Awesome. So that worked. We can now tweet from a public URL, and you're all welcome to go try it if you're actually there. And Einbisken asks, in a React form with two checkboxes, how can you make only one checkbox being able to be checked at a time? Well, there's a couple of ways you can do that. One way is to use radio buttons, which were actually designed by the HTML standard to be something that you can, where you have multiple options where only one is selected. Another one is to actually have two checkboxes and then have some sort of higher level, not higher level component, but a component that contains both of those checkboxes that checks if one of them is checked and disables the other one. So that would be how I would do it, like essentially building like a fancy toggle component of some sort, so that you are always disabling the checkbox you don't want to be checked. Does that make sense, Einbisken? It's hard to know how much detail you need for me to answer that. Okay, so we got that. Now the next step is figuring out my now build. So git status, git commit -a -m, dynamic callback hostname, git push origin master. Cool. Now the next step is, what is the next step? The next step is figuring out this now build stuff so that it's going to be easier for us to deploy the front end of this whole code base, like the Gatsby app part. I'm gonna try running now, and if I remember correctly from yesterday, it's going to fail, and then we can go see why it failed and what actually went wrong to try to fix it. Oh. So in Biscuit, you don't really need a hook for that exactly. You just need a, think of it more as a container component rather than a higher order component, because they're kind of different concepts. A higher order component is meant more to make reusable logic that you can, so you can make multiple components that have similar logic, whereas container components are more about a component that contains two different children of checkboxes and handles the logic between them. Okay, so this part is going to be relatively slow to test, unfortunately, because now instead of just failing fast, tries to do something really hard and then fails. What we can do in the meantime is actually what can we do? We can, right, so what we can do is, what was I gonna say? We can make the UI prettier and give nice success and error stuff. So here where we have the tweet button, people saying things. Okay, cool. Where was I? So we have our tweet button, and our tweet button is going to where we get the error code and stuff here. So we have our message. We're going to say whether it was successful or not successful. So we get the status code, and if the status code, actually we should look at the Twitter API docs. That's going to be the easiest. So we have documentation, stay informed, search tweets, filter tweets, post, retrieve, and engage. Okay, I can post a done here. Done successfully tweet from a publicly deployed Gatsby app. Thread compiler is the project name, and I'm going to paste the URL as well if anyone there wants to try it. Okay, so now we have the error. We can switch focus. So here's kind of one thing you can do to save time when you're developing code is kind of multitask, but not really multitask. So while we're waiting for these builds to go through or to fail, we can work on other stuff and then switch back to checking the build. So minified React error number 30. Okay, so I'm not actually sure what's failing here, which is a problem. Let's go from the beginning and scroll down. So it does all of that. Styled components, blah, command failed, cwebp, error while loading shared libraries libgl, cannot open shared object. So that seems like a problem. So now Zeit Gatsby libgl so. Well, no. So I think this is a bug in Zeit. It's not actually my bug. And I don't think this is something I can solve. Is it? Skipping optional dependency, force, building production JavaScript and bundles, error building static HTML for pages failed. In reach router, am I actually using reach router? Git grab router. Oh, I am using reach router because it's part of Gatsby. So that's not something I can work with. Helmet fails. Interesting. So I think this is a bug in Gatsby or in Zeit. So let's see, Zeit Gatsby. Now by example, create a Gatsby website and deploy it with now. npx deploy with Gatsby. This dir is public. So let's see. Now JSON. You also need now build npm run build. So if I go to package JSON, do I have that? No. So package JSON, this one, build is called Gatsby build. So now build is called, let's change this to, no. And I have Gatsby version 2. Version key to Gatsby. We have that. Name threadcompiler.com, build source package JSON, at now static build, config this dir public. So that should all work. What if we update Gatsby? Actually, let's try updating Zeit first. So I'm gonna go here, the latest version, update CLI, let's see, maybe that's what's wrong. And then I can try updating. So let's see, package JSON, we have constate next, Gatsby. What is the latest version of Gatsby? npm.js Gatsby. Now, that's always a good idea, is to update everything to the latest stuff. Wow, so we have Gatsby 2076. Okay, yarn install latest package. Yarn upgrade. Okay, what happens if I click yarn, if I call yarn upgrade? Package log JSON found. Your project contains log files generated by tools other than Yarn. It is advised not to mix package managers in order to blah. Okay, so we're now, I think, upgrading everything. And how do I update the CLI? Do I have now desktop running? Let's make sure I do. Download that. I'm pretty sure I already have it downloaded, but I'm gonna try anyway, just to make sure. And it's establishing secure connection, and it looks like my entire browser failed. Wow, okay, browser became non-responsive when I click download. Okay, let's see, which Gatsby do we have? So now blah cat node modules Gatsby package JSON grep of version. And I have the latest version now. Cool. I can also install that thing. Come on now. Where did it go? Okay, so it should be on my desktop, right? Where did it go? No, it just failed to open or to decompress. Ah, no, it didn't. It just goes there. So moving one of them and moving it to applications, replace. Oh, now is in use, is it? Where is now and why? How is it in use? Okay, so let's actually run it, because it seems to be vanishing somewhere. Let's try killing it. Wow, my computer is behaving really weirdly right now. So I'm gonna kill this, force quit. Still not quitting. Okay. Now can I replace it? Now on desktop. It's down here. And we move it to applications, replace. That worked. Can now go here, run this thingy. And I don't know where it goes. Ah, there we go. It's verifying. Oh, I keep forgetting, because I'm streaming and running the camera and everything, my computer is being very slow. Okay, open. Where did it go? There we go. It showed up. I deployed, blah. What's this? I'm not sure. Preferences, launch at login, canary, auto update, support account. Okay, so let's try running now again. So if I run now, let's see what it does. It's uploading. It synced 3 files. Now it's initializing, and while that's happening, we can get back to our tweet button and try to figure out whether, how can we do a successful versus failure stuff. So we have const message set message with use state, input uses context from thread container, and then we have whether it's authenticated. Move that one up here so it's easier. Call private async, and that can actually, let's see, how do we make that easier to use? You call private here, and that does stuff, awaits the result gets our data and our status code. So we can go to the overview and see what we get back from an update. Resource URL, status required, rate limited, blah. In reply to status ID, that's something we're going to deal with later. Example request, example response. After you post successfully, you should get back something that looks like this. We get the ID, we get all the other things. We get the user. What else? Geo coordinates, favorite, blah. I wonder if there is a React tweet we can use that. So React tweet, and we're gonna render it as it shows up. So React tweet embed npm. I know that works. Gonna add that sucker here. Yarn add React tweet embed. Cool. Open issues 4, last published 6 months ago, should be good enough. I think. Okay, so here we're going to say import tweet embed from React tweet embed, and we're gonna say, instead of set message, set message is going to be like this. If status code equals 200, then we set message else. Actually set success, so we're gonna have success and set success. Yeah, so set success as what should success say? Just true, maybe. And otherwise we're gonna say set success false. Yeah, set success false, and we're going to have const error is going to be set error, and this is going to be null at first. Set error uses state, and what is the error message is at first empty, and then we have const tweet set tweet, which starts as use state with an empty object. So we have set success true, set tweet is, what is it? What do we get back? We get basically the tweet. So set tweet is data, and set error is going to say example response. What possible errors do we get? Error 403, 403. So I'm not sure what kind of errors we get. So for set error, we're just going to say set JSON stringify of the data. Now here we're going to have it like this. If it's successful, then we do a tweet embed of, what did we say? We need the ID which has, otherwise it's null. We can also say P, great success, your tweet looks like this. Blah. Come on. Why don't you insert that thing? So my thing is being really weird, or rather my computer is being kind of weird. So, and the ID is tweet.id, was it? Let's see. We get back what? Yeah, we get the ID. Tweet.id string, like that. So that's if we have success, we get back, we set it to true, and we set tweet as data. So everything that we get back from the thing, save that. Otherwise we get an error, and if we have an error, we're going to say error is tweeting failed, and we're going to just render the error like that. Otherwise no. And this is all code that we can clean up later. This again failed. Now I can go here, and what computer do I have? My computer is a, what is it? Where am I console logging this? So my computer is, oh, this is the public thing. What was I gonna say? My computer is the, wow. It's a 2017 MacBook Pro, I think, with all the maxed out specs and everything. Okay, so we're gonna check next why this is failing. But in the meantime, let's see if this is working. Okay, got that. So is this thing working? I'm logging in locally. Should work. Great. I'm gonna cool. Don't mind me, just testing success and error messages. So now we click tweet your thread. Great success, your tweet looks like this. And it failed. Div cannot appear as a descendant of P. Okay. So we're gonna say this is a div with a paragraph. And I'm gonna go delete that tweet just so that we can actually try it again. Delete tweet, delete, cool. Reload, and we're gonna try again. Paste that there, tweet your thread, and it's not showing up. Why isn't it showing up? Let's see why it's not showing up. So great success, tweet embed, protocol, class name, blah, options. So we unsuccessfully set the tweet. So if I do console log of tweet, let's try deleting it again. So go here, don't mind me, blah. So this is gonna be kind of tedious because I don't want to spam my timeline too much. So I'm gonna try this a couple times. And it looks like I'm doing something wrong where I'm setting the data. So data is empty, tweet your thread. It's message. Then the message has an ID and stuff. Okay, so this needs to be dot message, and then it's gonna work. Cool. Delete tweet, blah. Okay, so I'm gonna try that again. Tweet your thread, voila. Okay, why did it render twice? That's weird. But, you know, progress. We have that thing working. I'm just not sure why it's rendering twice. That's kind of weird. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So we got that. I'm gonna post that as a reply here. Like that. Now if I try doing it again, we should get an error message, but we didn't, because we get a huge error. So what we need to also do it this way. So try try catch error, and we say set success as false. JavaScript try catch else. Does that work? Does that have? We do have a finally. No. Okay, so try catch success. We move all of this in here and set success false. Set error is JSON stringify of error, like that. So that's going to give us errors. Let's try that again. So I'm going to try posting the exact same message again, and that should error out. Tweeting failed. Cool. Okay, so that's our error. Now what's the next step? We need to figure out why deploying this properly doesn't work. So git status, git commit -a -m, properly blah. No, showing errors, showing proper errors. Now, where is the now thing from before, so that I can see what actually went wrong? No, come on, there we go. So thread compiler logs, what failed? No acceptable C compiler found. What? Okay, so I think I need to give them a question. How do I ask the team a question? Hey Zeit, I'm having weird issues trying to deploy a Gatsby JS site. Yarn build works locally, but the Zeit environment returns some sort of C level, some sort of C errors while compiling. Some sort of C errors. Something about a missing C compiler. Okay. So I did that. Hopefully they can help. In the meantime, we're gonna have to keep doing it the roundabout way of compiling locally, going to public, deploying, and then aliasing to thread compiler. So I'm gonna okay, got that. So now the next step is going to be using the markdown stuff. So how do we do that? Yarn start. Now here where we have the thread renderer, so thread renderer, when that renders, let's see. So this is what we have. We get set rendered, output contents, and here char count value and tweet style rendered, and handle rejection unexpected token. What? Okay, I knew that worked. Okay, so now when we set rendered, we need to set that in the context as well. How do I do that? So we have our context from thread container context, which goes where? So state.js here. So we have state.js, we have input and set input, and we're gonna have const output. Let's call it output. So output and set output equals use state with, again, an empty thingy, or actually it's going to be an array. Thanks CMGRJ. I really need to get back on doing those learn while you poops, don't I? So const of what should we call this? So we have input update and then render. Let's call it render. Render makes sense. Or set rendered, set thread, set content, set output. We're already calling it set output. Actually, we can just say set output. Actually, that totally makes sense. So we have input update, and then we have output and set output. That all goes into our context. Then in thread render, we're going to here say what? I'm gonna change this to React mode and say const of set no, where was I? So thread renderer, container, context, state. So our state machine set output. Okay, that's good. So we say const set output equals but that is just a single tweet. That's okay for now. We can do it as a single tweet for now and then figure it out from there. Or yeah, set output is use context thread container dot context. And here we go state JSON. Set output is gonna start as an empty thingy as well. Thread render. So when we say set rendered, so Einbisken hooks is coming out almost immediately, and I've actually done a lot of research / videos and content about hooks as well, and my course is coming out this month on February, but it's already going to include some hooks stuff. The whole thing is still going to be normal React because I think that makes it easier for people to catch up and to really understand things, but then it's going to have like an add-on chapter that is about hooks. So set rendered, set output with thread container context, again output.contents, like that. Then when we go to the tweet button, we're using the same context again, except here we're gonna call it output, like that. So success, error, set error, tweet, set tweet, output, thread container context, blah. And here, instead of message being input, message is going to be output. Now let's see if this actually works. Okay, so let's see. I am building I'm building a tiny, what should we call this? Blogging engine? Blog engine? A tiny blog engine that runs on top of Twitter. Now let's see. I'm building a tiny blog engine that runs on top of Twitter. More and more people post threads. This will make it easy. or at least make my life easier. Like that. Also hooks. So we have JavaScript. Oh, we do that. I'm gonna paste that just so. Let's see if that works. Type error failed to fetch. What? How dare it fail to fetch? Because if that didn't quite work. Okay, so gotta fix that. I'm not sure yet how to fix that one, am I? Tiny blog engine that runs on top of Twitter. Let's try it again, like that. Also hooks, but that kind of doesn't work yet. Also hooks, gotta work on code. I think this is going to be longer than, okay, I guess we'll see. So we have that. I'm building a tiny blog engine that runs on top of Twitter. More and more people post threads. This will make it easier. Or at least make my life easier. And what is going on here? Cool. That is okay. So that's still not quite working well, is it? But now let's see what happens if we click tweet for this. Cannot read property. Okay, also hooks. Instead of that, check it out. Threadcompiler.com. Okay, and we'll see if that updates. It's having some sort of issues. Let's try reloading and let's try that again. So, or rather, let's deploy it and try. No, let's try this here. What is concat? Something is messing up here, and I'm not sure what. Cannot read property concat of undefined. My life easier. Like that. No, it's not liking that for some reason. No? Why isn't it detecting that? That's kind of weird. So that is still very buggy. But you know, it's progress. We're starting. Okay. Now, if I click tweet your thread, what happens? Great success. That worked. Sweet. Okay. Now we gotta really quickly deploy this, and then I'm gonna say that's it for today. Git status, git commit -a -m, tweeting the compiled version of tweet, git push origin master, and we're gonna say what? Yarn build. So that's deploying. Or at least it's building, and then we're going to deploy it to now and alias it to threadcompiler.com, and that's going to be the objectives for today achieved. Right. CD public, we call now. Now I can say now alias blah with threadcompiler.com, and if I go to threadcompiler.com, there we go, login, threadcompiler.com, aha. So I need to add that to my list of URLs on auth 0, and then we're done for today. Okay, log in. I'm gonna close this because it's throwing weird errors. We go to our applications, thread compiler, go down here and add the URL, save changes. Now I can go here, compile, run this, click login, voila. And here we are. Now we can tweet from threadcompiler.com. Awesome. So that's it for today. We got things roughly working. This is like, I wouldn't call this an MVP yet, but we're kind of getting there. And tomorrow I'm going to try to polish this and make it actually useful, actually post Twitter threads, and then we're gonna go from there. So I think this is moving in a promising direction. We're gonna have to work on the UI, work on describing what this actually does, and then I guess I'm gonna start using it and see how it works when you're actually using it and go from there. So thanks everyone for watching. I will see you again tomorrow.